90% of all runaway children are from fatherless homes. 63% of youth are from fatherless homes. 71% of all high school dropouts are from fatherless homes. 85% of all youth in prison are from fatherless homes. What does that mean? Does that mean that mom is not important? No, it means that mom is important. But dads, it's time for us to wake up.
Meanwhile,
single mothers are teaching their young daughters to pole dance in this new viral video.
Wow, unbelievable.
Fellas, you ever wonder how women learn to master every trait on the dark triad personality pyramid by the time they're of legal age? That also correlates to the 3 biggest lies of manipulation that women will tell you. I love you, I'm sorry, and I promise. Have you ever wondered how someone so young could have a child by a man and then completely detach from that man as if he was nothing more than a phase in her life? Or maybe you've questioned if today's modern woman is even capable of genuine love. Love is not an emotion, it's a conscious choice to remain duty-bound indefinitely. It also requires an ever-changing and difficult environment in order to be tested. And most importantly, it's rooted in selflessness, not happiness. For instance, a baby leeches your time and resources. They demand your attention and they won't reciprocate your actions or deeds. Starting to sound a little bit like your dating life, huh? A baby requires your protection, your provisioning, your mental and physical ability, and most importantly, your patience. And if you know, you know, a baby is only peaceful for the first couple of weeks. After that, a baby will put you in an ever-changing, chaotic environment that will test all of the traits previously mentioned. Babies are liabilities with the potential to become assets. If a baby remains a liability, they won't just be a liability to society, they'll be a liability to themselves as well. In order to increase the potential that the baby will grow to become an asset, you, as the head of that household, must create a character-building environment. That environment must consist of discipline, control, self-respect, and respect of authority, and a long list of other character-building trials and tribulations. The reason why we say women are children is because, like children, they need protection from everything, including themselves. Now imagine a scenario where a child is left to their own devices, and you as the parent have no authority and bear or share responsibility. It's gonna be McDonald's, pizza, and cake for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day until they hurt themselves. Now imagine a society that shames you, the parent, for calling it out, and also, whether you like it or not, you'll be funding it with your tax dollars. Fellas, does it not bother you that no presidential candidate is campaigning to address this issue? I can't imagine a bigger threat to a nation than the nuclear family changing from man, woman, and child to simply woman, government, and child. Yes, I predict in the future the overt majority of households will only consist of mothers raising children on their own. And if you think I'm crazy, just look how many Gen Z women have fully mastered advanced detachment. And Generation Alpha are not outside playing with each other. They're exactly where you are right now, watching a screen. If you've went through a breakup anytime in the last 5 years, did it feel a little off to you? Did it feel like it was a little too easy for her to get over that? Well, if so, you're not crazy. But let's look into some theories as to why that may be.
Why would that be the case in evolution? Why would women be able to get over relationships quicker and be able to move on? Consider in the ancestral past, you have one tribe next to another tribe, and the men sneak in there and all the military-age males. And when that happens, you're like a woman and you're watching your husband like in front of
This is called the war brides dynamic.
You have 2 options. One of your 2 options is to say that I can't believe you my husband, I will never take another husband. And then you die. And then so you're sitting there and you have a decision.
2 choices.
Do I take another husband or do I die? The women who did not take another husband, as noble as they were, they're dead. And the woman who took another husband, she went on and passed that proclivity to take another husband on in her genetics. So over years and years and years of that, women are able to get over relationships easier, and they're willing to monkey branch to other men quicker. That's an evolutionary adaptation that women had because men have been replaceable throughout history.
In Western society's households, suffering begins when a woman's happiness ends. Trauma is contagious and it's spread through unhappy women. The toxic man, the bad boy, the thug, they all come from the same home. Bad men can't reproduce by themselves, or else the saying, nice guys finish last, wouldn't exist. Women reproduce with toxic type A personality men and then go and seek type B personality men to prevent them from the repercussions of their actions. So that begs the question, does dating a single mother enable bad behavior? I believe if she left for reasons related to happiness, yes. Women should only break up a household for inappropriate physical confrontations, neglect of fatherly duties, and harmful addictions. There are subcategories to those, but most extreme cases should be vetted before a child is introduced into the relationship. The reason why these traits aren't vetted is because women are taught at a very young age to use their bodies to manipulate the outcome.
Thank you. Like, you really woke me up. Like, reality check, like, you can't trust nobody, not even who you sleep with.
And like you witnessed at the beginning of the video, young girls are exposed to lady of the night culture before they can properly formulate sentences. Most of their inappropriate adult encounters comes from other little girls, or worse, mama's boyfriend. And don't think for a second that your sons aren't right there with them, swinging on poles as well. And they're not just vulnerable, some of them are outright encouraged to partake in the colorful agenda. And keep this in mind as well, most of the boys' gang affiliation also comes from mama's boyfriend.
Is it true, like, because there's this like picture of you that claims that you're throwing up BD and you're 3 years old. Is that real, or is that just you making a random hand signal as a kid?
Oh, that's real. That's real.
You just had like family members that thought it was funny to get a 3-year-old to do that?
I don't know why they made me do that. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know why they made me do that. It was some people I was around. I was just around some older guys. They made me throw a BD. I ain't gonna lie. I was young as hell, like 3 years old, throwing a BD.
Do you approve of that, or you think that that's a little out of line to be having a 3-year-old doing that?
I don't know, cause I ain't gonna let my son do nothing like that though, you know. So I really don't.
That part is kind of normal though, especially y'all growing up in the BD project.
Yeah, and I was
so kind of like,
they looked at me like I was their son, so they used to make me shoot dice, all type of shit. For real.
When's the first time they let you hit the blunt?
Like 10.
How does a 3-year-old boy end up around a bunch of guys throwing up gang signs for a picture? And pay attention to how an inappropriate picture from the past can circulate the internet for over 20 years. Yet the LonelyFans model that's too lazy and degenerate to work an honest job could care less on how this will impact her or her children. And be sure to hit me with a like and subscribe if your mindset for today's modern woman is anything like the man in this next clip.
Do you love her?
Yes.
Are you willing to do whatever it takes to stay with her?
No.
Construction workers, like I would agree that men should do these jobs, but when it comes to like white collar jobs, like I think women are just as capable and intelligent and
true. But again, work ethic
that's
comes
really
into
sexist of you to say that men should do the dangerous, dirty, difficult
I think
work.
men are on average bigger muscle mass.
Can you name many women who you know in your friend group who are willing to work 80 hours per week on something? I could name several men who are in my circle who do that versus most women were exhausted.
I mean, I know
after doing an average 40-hour week. That's why most women are going to OnlyFans, because they can't even work a restaurant job. They can't even work a 40-hour per week job. So they go and they do OnlyFans, and yet we're here fighting about women's natural work ethic and proclivity to be able to achieve the same results as men.
You just assume
like they're not
that
willing to put in the work.
You're assuming that I only do like.
Meanwhile, Chinese students are learning quantum physics, and we've got our students learning how to twerk from drag queens. It's not going to end well. They should be learning reading, writing, and arithmetic, not this filth.
Yes, because those school boards are primarily women and they're able to push those colorful agendas to the kids without the mothers knowing. And the mothers that do know most likely are responsible for putting the rainbow into power in the first place. And speaking of China, how strong do you think future America would be if the soldiers had independent mindsets like the mothers who raised them? TikTok already got caught suggesting positive reels to their youth, but suggesting idiocy-inducing reels to ours. And Generation Alpha is being raised by TikTok because the matriarch in the house is too busy repeating generational cycles with another product of a broken home. The degeneracy is so bad, we've got women who believe that men who want virgins are somehow predatory.
If a man has a preference for a woman with a low body count, do you take issue with that?
I think when it gets to the point where it's like a fetish almost, I don't know if that's the right word, for them to be pure, be this like, not like she hasn't been touched, like she's, you know, like a virgin. Like I think when it gets to that point and it just starts to get really gross. It's like, do you want to date a child?
So men who want to date women with a low body count are...
No, definitely
no.
But when it gets to the point where that's all it matters so much to them, you know.
I mean, an adult woman can be a virgin.
Children are born virgins is the point. So sometimes when it gets to such an extreme and people...
Is it extreme to want someone who's not...
No, not at all.
No.
But if someone is like, I would never sleep with anyone that's even been touched by a man, and I don't think that's very many people at all.
So what's the solution? The answer is not that simple. The environment must change in order for the product to adapt to its new environment for survival. It's why the passport bros exist. It's men changing their environment, hoping to find a workaround to a problem he has no power to solve. For every one woman that's not like this, there are hundreds of thousands that are. Most women chameleon their cooperative behavior during the honeymoon phase of the relationship, and then when happiness takes a vacation, the Jezebel mindset sets in. The problem with men is we'll get in long-term relationships and then assume the woman is somehow different. We'll start to believe that we're special and that our actions and history with the woman will somehow make us immune to being broken up with. Men that think like that are statistically delusional and may suffer the worst because blindside breakups are women's favorite way of leaving a relationship. They detach emotionally while enjoying the comfort of your presence. And don't think that the children, the house, or your remorse is gonna stop her from kicking over that immaculate sandcastle you built. And it's a sandcastle because you're gonna see how easily it all falls to grains in a gust of wind.
Girls with no fathers in the home have lower self-esteem. No father families more likely to be victims of abuse, especially with single mothers. Children with high BMI more often come from fatherless homes. Here's something: fathers have the fittest children. That was really interesting to me. The more opportunities a child has to interact with biological father, the less likely they are to commit a crime or have contact with the juvenile justice system. Okay, another way to say that is men and women who are incarcerated, the population of the prisons mostly encompass fatherless homes. Now here's something that no one else has mentioned, which I think is cool, and I don't really say this eloquently. If a man and wife raise a child, they're less likely to end up in jail, but they have the same statistical chance as children raised by just their father.
But anyway, man, that's the video for today, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the damn video. But anyway, man, that's the video for today, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like the damn video. Be sure to click here to see how 20 years of social media has ruined the modern woman in America. If you want to support me and get your facial care on with Tej Hanley, be sure to hit the link in the description below. Or if you rather just buy me a coffee, be sure to check out that link as well. If you missing my shorts, be sure to hit me up on Instagram at NGEnevergoodenough. And if you want to do some business with me, be sure to hit me up on my email at NGEnevergoodenough@gmail.com. And remember, become the change you want to see. It's your boy, NGE. Peace.